Alright, let's look at how we can use function rules for word problems. Everybody loves word problems. Alright, let's read this. Your band has recorded its CD. Cool. Now you want to copy and sell it. One company charges $250 for making a master CD and designing the art on the cover. There is also a cost to burn each CD. Right here, each is critical. I want us to circle each. Alright. And the cost to burn each CD is $3. The total cost, P of C, depends on the number of CDs, C, burned. We're going to use the function rule, P of C equals 250 plus 3C, to make a table of values and a graph. So there's a couple things this problem wants us to do. All right, let's work on writing down what we know. I know that one company charges $250. And there's another cost. The other cost is to burn each CD. Whenever I have each CD, I have a variable. Here we're going to use C. That's what it wants us to use here. And the cost to burn each CD is what? 3. Well, is it 3 plus C, 3 minus C, 3 divided by C, or 3 times C? Well, if it's $3 for each, it's going to be multiplication. When you see each, I want you to start thinking multiplication. So 3C. And that's $2. Total cost depends on the numbers of CDs burned. So I know I'm already going to have to pay $250, and I'm going to have to pay something depending on how many CDs I have. So this is going to be an addition problem. And I'm going to set this equal to P of C. Now, lucky for you, they gave you the equation. Do you see where they got the $250 from? This was the original charge, and the 3C is the cost to burn each CD. So P of C equals 3C plus 250. This is a function. It means that for whatever value of C I get, I'm going to have a total cost. I could also just write this as Y equals 3X plus 250. Change your variables out. This looks familiar now. All right, in order to do this, it wants me to do what? How am I going to solve this? Well, according to my green highlighter, the problem is asking me to make a table of values. So let's do that first. Table of values means I need my two variables, my X and my Y, or in this case, my C and my P of C. And then I'm going to find a couple of values. What would be values we'd start with? Well, in this case, could I make a negative number of CDs? No. Would I only make 5 CDs? Probably not. Not if I actually want it to be worth the money I've already invested in this. So let's start with 100. And 100 is also a nice, easy number. Let's say I make 100 CDs. What's my cost going to be? What if I have 200 CDs? 300 CDs? Or let's jump up and let's do 500 CDs. What's my total cost? Well, in order to find my total cost, I need to plug these values in for C. So how would I do that? Alright, so I'm going to take this 100 and I'm going to put it in place of C. Okay, this looks manageable so far. Now we can solve this to see what P equals when C is 100. Well, I'm going to get 300, 3 times 100, and I'm going to add 250 to it. So that's going to be 550 equals my P of C. So when C is 100, P is what? 550. Cool. Let's do the same thing for 200. Well, if I plug 200 in place of C, I'm going to get 600 plus 250, and that's going to give me 850 as my total cost when C equals 200. So when C equals 200, what am I going to put in my chart? Well, when C was 200, I plugged it in and I got 850. So my cost jumps to 850. Let's look at doing the same thing for 300 and 500. Pause me, do your own, and we'll check your answers when you're done. Alright, hopefully you got the same values I did. You should have had 1150 for 300 and 1750 if I have 500. All right, the next thing we have to do, go back to our problem and reread it. What else does it want me to do? Well, use the function rule to make a table of values. We've done that. And a graph. So now I need to graph these values. How might we suggest we do that? All right, when we go to graph this, we want to think about what my x and y are going to represent. So normally, if my first column is my dependent variable, it's on the horizontal axis. So in this case, what does C represent? Let's come back and look at our word problem. The total cost depends on the number of CDs C. So in this situation, my C doesn't represent cost. That's P of C. So I know my y-axis is the total cost, and my x-axis is the number of CDs right here. Told to use C for that. So this is number of CDs and total cost. All right, so as I'm graphing these, let me write this here so it's easier for you guys to see. Okay. When my C goes up by hundreds, so let's consider having my my dashes be hundreds. Okay, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and so on. Make sure your axis has an arrow because it continues indefinitely. Now my P of C, or my y-axis as it were, what would work here? I go from 550 to 1750. That's a 1200 difference. I don't want to do my y-axis by tens, or I would have a huge y-axis. It wouldn't fit on my screen. Well, I could probably do it by hundreds if I counted these small guys as hundreds. That would give me 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. I've got to get up to 1750. So 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. 1750 is going to be somewhere up here. So I think that will work. We'll just mark this as 500. And we'll know every small box represents 100. So this becomes 1,000. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. Good. Now we can look at plotting our points. Again, we always start with our x-axis, and we always start at our origin down here. So my first point is 100. That's right here on my C. And then that has to match up with my 550 on my y. So I'm going to take it all the way up here, and it's about, right here. It's on the line in between 500 and 600. That's 550. And my next one is going to be 200. That's my 200 on my C axis. That's here. And I'm going to go up to 850. So 600, 700, 800, 850. Right in between 8 and 900. The next one I'm going to do is 300. Find my 300. That goes all the way up to 1150. So I'm going up, there's 1,000, 1,100, 1,150. And lastly, I have my 500. 500's right here on C. I'm going to go up to 1750 on my Y. That's going to put me up 15, 16, 1750. Cool, it's okay, I skipped one in between here because I'm going to draw my line. That's the next thing I do with graphing. And my line is going to go through all of these points. All right, it's going to start here and just keep going up. So I could guesstimate using this line that if I sold 350 CDs, that the cost of that based on this line would be right about here, or $1,300. Or if I only sold 150 CDs, that it would only cost me about $700. It's a decent cost per CD. Or if I sold, let's say I sold 450, that I would be spending $1,600 to do so. All right, so this is the power of a graph, as it models my equation and allows me to make predictions about future events or about one variable in terms of the other. I'm going to give you a problem I want you to do on your own just to see how well you understood this lesson. Make sure you have this on your own paper and graph it just like I did this and have it ready for me in class tomorrow. All right, this problem you might want to copy down. This problem is going to be the one that you need to do, and you're going to do it exactly like I did the other one. If you're not sure about what you're doing, rewatch this video and do your problem along the one on the video. This problem states that another company charges $300 for making a master CD and designing the art for the cover. They also charge $2.50 for burning each CD. Use the function rule, P of C equals 300 plus 2.5C, and make a table of values and a graph. You're going to do the exact same thing I just did, but on your paper and your graph paper. Make sure you have these when you come to class tomorrow.